today's video is going to be my October TBR. And guess what? We got ourselves a TBR cart. Look at it. Isn't it so pretty? So these are all the books that I have currently that are either individual books that I haven't read yet, a start of a series, or just, I think that's it, actually. Starts of series that I only own one of the books from, or the first two, or they're just standalone books that I still haven't gotten to. So, I'm so excited to go through these. We have like the hardcovers on top because they were not going to fit on the bottom and just didn't have enough space to clear. So we have some hardcovers up here from Book of the Month. We have some smaller little reads. I just tried to make a mix of stuff like as much as possible. And then the second tier, we have like some romance, we have some historical fiction, we have some fantasy, we have some thriller horror, some romance, magical realism, classics. Then down here we have some more fantasy, sci-fi, thriller, women's fiction, more thriller, romance, and I'm super excited to get into this video. So let's just get into it. So I got this cart from the Container Store. So I just want to say this story. By the way, do you love my shirt? It says haunted by my TBR because we are in fall now. So I am in full fall mode now. I really hate when girls are like, it's fall now. I'm like, no, it's not. Now it is fall. Yesterday was the first day of fall. So now I'm in full fall mode. And I literally just got this shirt today. And I was like, this shirt is so perfect for me to wear in my October TBR video. I mean, come on. Hello, I'm haunted by this TBR. So let's get into the prompts jar. So I think I'm going to be probably breaking it up in half again on how I do my prompts this month. But, like half from the jar and half from the envelopes. I think I'm going to do that again because that was just so much fun. And like, I just get so excited to film my TBRs every month. But also I had like such a packed October TBR, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to mix it up a little bit because I had like a lot of witchy books and a lot of thrillers on my list. And there are witch books that I really am going to read and want to get to in October. Those are priority books already. They're already on my TBR. But I kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit more and pick out prompts still, 'cause I really wanted to use this cart. I was like dying to use it. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to use it in November and December. I might put some series on the cart and we'll go from there. So we'll see what we read in October. So it's still September right now, but again, I still really wanted to film this. So I'm not going to film the rest of it until like the last day of September, so I can tell you guys what's on my TBR shelf after I actually film this. So I don't know why I'm rambling. But quick story about the cart. So first I had gotten a cart that had square rods and they took forever to put together. It was so annoying the way I was trying to build this cart. It was like the original one that I got from the Container Store, but then I saw that some people complained about the new design of the carts and they're like, please bring back the ones that you just screw in with poles, because also that square one has a weight limit and it was not going to hold all the books, because as soon as I put books on the third tier and the second one, I tried to put books on the second one and it just collapsed. So I took it back and I got this one, and this one only took me 15 minutes to put together. So if you guys are going to get these from the Container Store for your TBRs, if you decide to do like a TBR cart, I would highly suggest getting the circular pole one, because this one, I don't think it has a weight limit, because it's holding all my books just fine. Okay, let's get into it. So I've been rambling enough, so let's mix up the jar. and we are going to pick my first prompt. So I'm just gonna actually show you guys this time because last time I didn't. I don't know why. Okay, so we got a blue one, and again, these are always... Oh, okay, this is gonna be fun. I was just thinking about whether or not I get this prompt. I'm gonna have to do this later on. But I think I know exactly who I'm gonna pick, but also the papers are totally random. Like, they're not like themed or anything. Like, pink is not for romance. I always say that in every TBR video. So, the first prompt we got was friend picks. That's a really fun one. I've been wanting to get this one for a while. So I think I'm gonna ask my friend Courtney, and I'm just gonna send him like three books after we film this, and I will come back later and tell you guys which one he picks. So that's actually a really fun one. Okay, that's pretty much free reign, so I'll pick out like probably 3 books, but I don't want to do it until the end of each prompt that we get, so we can see what else we get, because y'all know how picky I am about my TBR when I actually draw them. Give it a good shake. Okay, next. Okay, we got a pink one. Let's see. Book I can finish in a day. I know exactly what book I'm going to be picking for this one. So let me actually tell you guys the one that I'm going to pick. That's perfect because I know exactly which one it's going to be on my Kindle. And it's actually going to be a new release, and it actually comes out the same day as another new release that I'm going to read on October 1st. They both come out on October 1st. So the book I can read in a day is going to be Freida McFadden's new book, which is called The Boyfriend, and it's going to be a Kindle read, which is great, so then I can at least use my Kindle once next month. I was already planning on reading this book when it comes out, and I know with Freida McFadden books, I can get through them in a day because they only take like 5 to 6 hours to read. So yeah, that's going to be the one that we pick for that prompt. Okay, can we actually use the cart now though? Okay, let's pick our last prompt from the jar. Like I said, I'm going to do 3 from here and 3 from the envelopes. Watch, I probably won't get anything on this card. Okay, so let's pick, I just touched one. Okay, let's go with this yellow one. Okay. Wizards. I don't think I have anything on my cart with wizards in it. So I think we're going to have to pick another one. Let me just check this one. We haven't even used the cart yet. I think this one has witches and gods. It's like witches and gods. I don't think there's any wizards in this. So, no. About this one. I don't think this one does either. I don't think anything has wizards in it. Maybe this one? I'm gonna have to look that one up. But, oh, well, Lord of the Rings does. Are we gonna do it? Should we pick out Lord of the Rings? I mean, I think I'm gonna pick a different prompt because I think that would be my book if I picked wizards, because obviously, like, Gandalf and Saruman and all of that. I think I'm gonna pick a different one, so... Sorry, but that book was definitely not in the cards for me to read anytime soon. But we will get to it. But it's not like I haven't seen the movies like 5 million times. So let's pick a different one. But if we pick that one again, that has happened to me, then we're going to have to do it. So let's go ahead and pick one. Let's pick one from over here. Okay, we got a blue one. And this one, repeat author. Perfect. Okay, repeat author. I know exactly which one I want to pick because I've been working on reading her backlist. So we're just going to pick this one. I actually think her last book, we finally got one from the cart. But again, I'll update you guys later on what my other friend picks for me. So I'm actually going to be reading one of the books that are, currently on my TBR from this author, like the last day of September, because I've been trying to read like one of her books a month. So the one that I'm going to pick for repeat author is going to be Catherine Center, and that is going to be What You Wish For. And I actually just picked up this book like 2 days ago, so that is perfect. So that is going to be the one that I pick for repeat author. So I'm just going to stick that right in the book so we know which one we picked. So thank God we got something off the cart, right? Like, hello, like I was trying to do that. We'll put them up here at the end. Okay, let me go text my friend, and then I'm going to set up the other prompts for, the prompts for the envelopes, and then we'll draw prompts that way. It's so much fun when I do that, so I'll be right back. Okay, so my friend actually just got back to me already, so I wanted to tell you guys which one he picked. So I sent him a picture of 3 books that I really want to read. So I sent him this picture of Murder in the Family, The Magic of Lemon Drop Pie, or Under the Whispering Door. So Murder in the Family is by Kara Hunter, The Magic of Lemon Drop Pie is by Rachel Linden, and Under the Whispering Door is TJ Klune. And I've been dying to get to a TJ Klune book, and that's the one that he picked. So this is going to be our third prompt that we chose, and it's going to be Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I'm really excited to read this in October because I've been dying to get to one of his books, so that is going to be friend picks, and that's perfection because I'm super excited to read this. So yay, he actually picked the book that I wanted to read the most. And also I think I'm gonna read Murder in the Family in October anyway. Okay, so that is the third prompt done. Okay guys, so I just set up the prompts, and we have numbers 1 through 23, and they are all in these envelopes. And I actually set them up in order this time because I really don't feel like digging for them. So now we pulled up our number wheel and we set it up 1 to 23. And we are going to spin the wheel. So let's see what our first number is going to be. Okay, our first number, I think, is 5. Okay, it's going to be 5. So let's grab 5, and we are just going to do this completely randomly. So whatever... kind of grabbed 2. Let's pick this one. I picked 2 at the same time. So let's see what the first one is. Book I just bought. Okay. That's great, actually. Wow. I'm actually torn between 2 because I really, really, really want to read both of these books. But one of the books was the one that I sent to my friend, and he didn't pick that one. So maybe I should pick the other one that I just bought. I literally just bought this one, so I think we're going to go with this one. And that is going to be The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. I literally just bought this yesterday. I just bought this yesterday, so... let's go with The X-Files by Jessica Joyce because I've been hearing so many good things about this one. Everyone is reading this one right now, or a lot of people have been reading this. It's been extremely popular, and that's so funny because I really wanted to get to this in October. That's hysterical. Okay, great. We got our first prompt is book I just bought, so that's perfection. Why do I always get so lucky with these? And then watch, the other 2 are going to be... I'm probably going to regret pulling them, but that's the fun. That's the fun of these videos. So, okay. That was actually a really great pick. Okay. let's go ahead and spin the wheel for our next one. I don't know why it glitched a little bit. Okay, I think we got 20 or 21. Why did it do its little dance? Okay, 20. Why is it being so slow? Okay, so we got 20. Cool. I'm glad I picked a higher number. So here is 20, and we're going to go ahead and pick out of this one. We're just going to pick the first one that I grab. We got a yellow one. Cool beans. I don't know why it keeps on loading. It's being like so weird. Okay. Funny book. I don't know. Because I don't know if any of these are that funny. I think I know what I'm gonna pick though. And I kind of want to get to a couple of this author's books that I've been putting off for so long because like she's not my favorite author, but I think it's going to be this one. I don't really think any of these other ones are supposed to be that funny. So maybe The Hating Game. But I think I'd rather get to this one. So I think I'm going to pick Allie Hazelwood again. I put off her books for so long, but honestly, I really do want to get to this book. Let me just see if it's supposed to be funny. I mean, I know it's supposed to be smutty, so it would have been perfect for my smutty prompts in August, I think. Not in Love. Funny book. I don't really know. I don't own any of these other ones. Let's see. Let's put in funny romance books. Because I feel like out of all the books that are on here, I think a romance is going to be the only one that will be, you know, humorous. I mean, I just read The Wedding People, and that's not a romance, so I don't know why. Okay. It does list Not in Love here from Amazon, so I think we're just going to go with that one. Yeah. It's listed on for the suggested books for funny romance books. So I'm just going to go with Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood. So I think that is a good pick because I really do want to get to this book. So that is not the prompt. Where'd it go? Okay. Like that is still the book I finish in a day prompt. Okay. So hopefully we get, you know, another like thrillery haunted book because that's what I really wanted to get to. I don't know if this one's supposed to be funny. I mean, he does have some humor in his books. Unless it's just supposed to be thriller / a little horror-ish. I'm trying to like dabble into horror, but not any. If it's going to be horror, it has to be like much more thriller with like some horror elements because I am a baby and I don't like, you know, straight up horror books. Like I don't want something that will literally turn my stomach and make me want to throw up. I don't want to read about like people getting chopped up and stuff like that. That's just not for me. Like but again, The Wedding People would have been perfect for this prompt because so, Grady Hendrix funny book. Because if this is a funny book, I might just pick this one. Because this is on my TBR for this month, and I'd rather get to this one. I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to be that funny. Maybe we should put funny. I didn't think this prompt was going to be that difficult. Funny thriller books. Why does... Is that one supposed to be funny? Because the Final Girl support group came up. And that's Grady Hendrix. Maybe we'll go with that one. Comedy thriller books. Let's see. I don't know. Well, this is going to be on the TBR anyway. Let's stick with Not in Love. And we'll pick the last number, because if we're here forever, we're going to be here forever if I keep on looking. So I think we're going to stay with that one, and we're just going to spin. Why did it go all of a sudden back to 10? That's really annoying. I don't know why it just did that. So now it's not on the number that I was last on. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to reset the number generator, the number wheel again. That actually really annoys me. Okay, let's go ahead and spin for the last one because it wasn't on the number that we just picked. So that's annoying me. Okay, we got 4. I think I'm going to spin again because just to mix it up, because that was like unfair of me. Well, you know what? I think I actually can set it. You know what? Why am I being so dumb in this video? Hold on. I think I can just set it to... No, I can't. I can't set it to that number. I can't set it to the number that I just drew. Or that I just spun it to, which is actually really dumb. Alright, let's go ahead and spin. I'm just going to refresh it again and just redo it, because that really pissed me off. Okay, so let's go ahead and just redo it. Why does there have to be like 10 million freaking ads? Okay, now that's closer to where I was. It actually just went to 20, so that's perfect. So then it's actually a lot more accurate. Watch, it's still going to probably land in the same section. Okay, we got 7. Okay, that's a lot more fair because it just randomly spins. Like, it'll do like a slow spin before you actually pick the number. So we got 7. Let's go ahead and draw our prompt. This is the first one I went to, so this is the one we are going to pick. Okay. Coffee house vibes. That's perfect for the fall. But I don't know which one I'm gonna pick. Why are these prompts so hard for me on this card? Like, I didn't think this was gonna be so challenging. I'm like, why is it so difficult for me to pick which ones I want to pick? I think the only one... Well, let me see if this one has coffee house vibes. Okay, so we picked our last one. If I can't find one that works for this prompt, I'm just going to pick one more prompt out of the 7, out of the same envelope like I did last time. Magic of lemon drop pie. Because this one's magical realism, and I've been really wanting to get to it. Coffee vibes. No, it doesn't say coffee. So let's not do that one, even though I really want to read this one. I think we're going to draw I don't think I have any on my shelves. Well, yeah, I don't think any of these are gonna give coffee house vibes. Let's just draw a different one from the same envelope. Why was this such a freaking challenge? I don't know why this was so difficult. Okay, let's draw. I'm like, I don't know if I want this prompt either. Why is this like, I guess I spoke too soon, but why is this such a challenge? I already replaced one prompt, so I don't want to do it a third time. Maybe we'll stick with the coffee house one. I'll get back to you guys. Hold on. Let me just scour this TBR shelf to see. Okay, so let's quickly run through the books that I picked, and I'm super excited for these because I really wanted to get to these books. So the first one was book we finish in a day, which is going to be The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. So we are going to read that book probably the first day of October. But I am going to run through the other books that I want to read in October. So let's read the synopsises real quick. So this one says, she's looking for the perfect man. He's looking for the perfect victim. Cindy Shaw, like every single woman in New York, has terrible luck with dating. She's seen it all. Men who lie in their dating profile, men who stick her with the dinner bill, and worst of all, men who can't shut up about their mothers. But finally, she hits the jackpot. Her new boyfriend is utterly perfect. He's charming, handsome, and works as a doctor at a local hospital. Cindy is swept off her feet. Then the brutal murder of a young woman, the latest in a string of deaths across the coast, confounds people. A primary suspect, a mystery man who dates his victims before he kills them. So that sounds really fun. Super excited for that. At least we have one thriller on the list right now. And then the next one was Friend Picks What I Read. And we got TJ Klune's Under the Whispering Door. I'm so excited to read this one. I'm so excited to get into TJ Klune finally. There's like 3 authors that I've been dying to get to, which is TJ Klune, Kristen Hanna, and Frederick Bachman. I don't know if we're going to get to either of them this month either, but at least we're getting to TJ Klune. I think TJ Klune has been the one on my list for the longest. So this one says, when a reaper comes to collect Wallace from his own funeral, Wallace begins to suspect he might be dead. And when Hugo, the owner of a peculiar tea shop, promises to help him cross over, Wallace decides he's definitely dead. Ooh, I'm getting spooky vibes from this. This is perfect for October. But even in death, he's not ready to abandon the life he barely lived. So when Wallace is given 1 week to cross over, he sets about living a lifetime in 7 days. Hilarious, haunting, and kind, Under the Whispering Door is an uplifting story about a life spent at the office and a death spent building a home. Oh my god, this sounds amazing. And so many people love his books. I think this one's like a lot of people's favorites besides The House of the Cerulean Sea. But actually, I think The Life of Puppets is... In the Lives of Puppets is on Kindle Unlimited, and I think his whole Wolf Song series is on Kindle Unlimited. So I really do want to get to those as well. But I got this one for like $6. So definitely reading that this month. And then repeat author, I picked Catherine Center. I don't think there's any other repeat authors on this cart besides Catherine Center, Allie Hazelwood, and Grady Hendrix. They're like the only other authors that I've read. Oh, and Colleen Hoover. They're like the 4 authors that I've read books from before. All the other authors would be new authors to me. So we picked What You Wish For. I was dying to get to this one because I just found out that this is an interconnected book to Happiness for Beginners. Because if you read Happiness for Beginners, this is Helen's brother's love story. And I was like, wait, I have to pick this book up immediately because I almost want to read this over How to Walk Away, like as soon as possible, but I'm going to save it for October because How to Walk Away, like I said, is going to be the last book that I read in September. And then we're probably going to read 2 other books before we get into these. And these will be like the half and half books that we read for October. So that one is repeat author, and this one says Samantha Casey is a school librarian who loves her life and lives it with a genuine, playful, heartfelt joy. But she wasn't always that way. Duncan Carpenter is the new school principal who lives by rules and regulations, guided by the knowledge that things can happen. But he wasn't always that way, and Sam knows it because she knew him before at another school in a different life. Back then she loved him, but she was invisible to him, to everyone, even to herself. She escaped to a new school, a new job, a new chance at living. But when Duncan, of all people, gets hired as the new principal there, it feels like the best thing that could possibly happen to the school and the worst thing that could possibly happen to Sam, until the opposite turns out to be true. I'm not going to read anymore. It just sounds so good. I can't wait to get to this. I love how I picked most of the books that I just recently bought, but hey. And then literally the next prompt was book I just bought. So I just ended up picking the next book I just bought, which is The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. Again, I really wanted to get to this in October. So I'm just going to read the first blurb. It says, estranged exes must stick close together to save their best friend's wedding after a string of disasters in this swoony and steamy second chance romance. So I'm really excited for this one. I didn't realize that I picked 3 romances, but also, like, I'm really into romance lately, but then the rest of the month is just going to be witchy romances and thrillers. So the next one is Funny Book, which is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I think that this is going to be a good one for this prompt because, again, like, I don't think any of these other books are going to be necessarily, comedy. So this one says, a forbidden secret affair proves that all's fair in love and science. Rue Siebert might not have it all, but she has enough. A few friends she can always count on, the financial stability she yearned for as a kid, and a successful career as a biotech engineer at Klein, one of the most promising startups in the field of food science. Her world is stable, pleasant, and hard-fought until a hostile takeover and its offensively attractive frontman threaten to bring it all crumbling down. I actually saw Booked and Busy just gave this book 5 stars, and honestly, Booked and Busy, never gives 5 stars. She's only given 3 5-stars the entire year, and this was one of them. But also, I think that she has liked more of Ali Hazelwood's work in the past. For me, Ali Hazelwood has not been a hit author for me. I've read 2 of her books, and then I have not been inspired to pick up any of her other books. Even though I own 3 of them, I just have not wanted to pick them up and read them. But it's you bought them, you gotta read them eventually. So this one is going to be for Funny Book. And then the last one is going to be The Magic of Lemon Drop Pie, which is the coffee shop vibes, or coffee house. What did I put? Coffee house vibes. So I feel like I can literally smell the coffee bringing this book to a coffee shop. So I think that was what I was going for, because it's I have to feel the vibe for the book, because the characters could give me the vibes if they were in a coffee shop, but also it can work the other way around. But this one sounds so good. I've been seeing so many people give this book 5 stars and so many good things about it. So The Magic of Lemon Drop Pie by Rachel Linden. And it says, an uplifting novel about a heartbroken young pie maker who is granted a magical second chance to live the life she does not choose. From the best-selling author of The Enlightenment of Bees, which I also heard was really good too. And it says, Lolly Blanchard's life only seems to give her lemons. 10 years ago, after her mother's tragic death, she broke up with her first love and abandoned her dream of opening a restaurant in order to keep her family's struggling Seattle dinner afloat and care for her younger sister and grieving father. Now, a decade later, she dutifully whips up the diner's famous lemon meringue pies each morning while still pining for all she has lost. And that's all I'm going to read. But this sounds so good because, she has to plant, these lemon drops, and they have, magical qualities to them. And I'm just super excited for this book. So those are the books that I picked for our TBR prompts, and I'm super excited to get to all of these. And then we will go into my TBR shelf and everything. like another day, but it was just so much fun to film with the cart now. So yeah, bye for now. But literally you'll see me in like 2 seconds. Okay, I changed my mind on one of the prompts because I want to get through some of the Halloween books that I have, and I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't pick another physical book. And I think this one we will definitely be able to finish in a day because it's only 250 pages. So I'm going to go for A Talent for Murder by Peter Swanson, and it's also another one of my books of the month. So I'm going to go with this one instead of The Boyfriend. I feel like if I just needed a quick read for that, we'll do that one, but I do want to read a lot of Halloween books, like probably like through the 10th to like the 31st of October. I'm going to try and get through these 5 books in the beginning of October. But I was trying to split up, like, so we can have at least 3 weeks for, like, the Halloween reads. So this one's going to be the one. So this is by Peter Swanson. This is actually part of a series, but people said that you can read this as standalone and it doesn't matter. But also, like, when I got this in Book of the Month, I didn't know it was part of a series. But yeah, we're just going to go with this one because, again, it doesn't really matter if you read them out of order. So that one is going to be my book I finish in a day. So I put them all up here. And these are going to be my TBR books for the month. I'm so excited for these. And we will get to what we get to. If we don't get to all the witchy books, it's not a huge deal. There's really only 6 or 7 that are super priority this month. The rest of them are not as priority. And then I have some priority thrillers that I really want to get to. So I think it's going to be a good reading month regardless. Okay, so we're going to change another one of the prompts to a different book. I've done this so many times before. Like, if I don't have time for a certain prompt or a certain genre in the month, then I'll just change it to another one. But this one was going to be read the first week of October anyway. And I think it fulfills the funny book prompt even better than Not in Love, because I don't know if that one's really that funny. And I'm already reading an Ali Hazelwood book this month, and for the priority author or the repeat author prompts, I'm already reading an author that I love, which is Catherine Center, and I'd rather read more of her books. But I'm still reading Love Hypothesis the last week of September because I was fulfilling another prompt for September, but I picked a different book for funny book because I want to read this the first week of October anyway. So I'm going to go with Out on a Limb by Hannah Boehm Young. Everybody's reading this book right now, so I really would like to read this book and get it done. And also, like, I really, really wanted to read this in October because they actually meet at a Halloween party. So it would give me, like, the Halloween spooky vibes way more than Not in Love. So we're going to go with this one for funny book. And it is supposed to be really funny. Like, they have a really good banter. So we're going to choose this one over Not in Love. So we replaced 2 of them. All the other ones I'm going to keep the same. But we're going to go with this one for this prompt. Okay, so hey guys. So now I wanted to talk to you guys about the rest of my TBR for the month of October, because I am going to have a spooky, thrillery, fun Halloween good time for October after I get to those books that I pulled for my prompts. I think I'm going to have a great time with those books as well. So now I'm going to tell you guys the rest of the books that are on my Halloween TBR. I just feel like, I don't know why this angle is like not working for me. I think that's a little better, right? Now we're a little closer. Okay, so I don't know why this is in the way either. Like, okay, let's just move that. All right. So let me talk to you guys about new releases first. So there are 4 new releases that are coming out next month, but I think I'm only going to be reading 2 of them. And I actually am already reading one of them, and I'm going to tell you guys which one that is. I actually thought that this book was coming out September 24th. I don't know what is happening. I don't know why my dog is barking. Sorry if you hear them, but they like to bark like randomly. So anyway, I actually got this book a week early from my local bookstore. They ended up having like 2 copies of this. Sometimes they do get books quite a few days early before they're released, but sometimes they get them really early. So, oh my fucking God, I'm gonna kill my dog. Sorry, I really don't know why they were barking. But anyway, the book that I got a week in advance, and I'm currently reading it right now, I started reading it last night, is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. So I can't believe I have this already and I'm able to read it earlier than October, because this was going to be the very first book that I read in October, but then it turns out that I'm able to read it now. I'm almost 200 pages in already. I'm hoping to be done with this by tomorrow night. I do have plans with my best friend tomorrow, but today I was supposed to see my boyfriend, but I don't know when the fuck that's gonna happen because I haven't heard anything from him yet. So anyway, this is the sequel to Better Than the Movies, and so far, I'll give you guys a little bit of a review, is I'm not really feeling this one too much. I did see pretty mixed reviews on this before I started reading it, but I wanted to get my hands on it so I could give you guys a review before it comes out, but I'm not going to be able to do that until my reading wrap up, but then I will have already read it, so then I don't have to worry about reading it in October, where I have to add it to my already packed TBR in October with all the spooky reads that I want to read in October as well. So this one says, for a few beautiful months, Wes had his dream girl, the strong-willed girl next door, Liz. But right as the two were about to set off for college to start their freshman year together, tragedy struck. Wes was left dealing with the fallout, which ultimately meant losing Liz in the process. Flash forward months later, and Wes and Liz find themselves in college together. In a healthier place now, Wes knows he broke Liz's heart when he ended things, but is determined to make her fall back in love with him. So that's basically the gist of it. I highly suggest you read Better Than the Movies before you go into it, because I do think Better Than the Movies is a better book and it's just better written. I'm just finding myself a little bit bored with this one. Like, nothing has really happened yet, so I don't know. I really do enjoy Lynn Painter's writing and books, like most of her other books that I have down here. I've given these 4 and 5 stars. Like, I have Better Than the Movies right here, and The Do-Over and Betting on You is my absolute favorite book from her. That one I gave 5 stars, so I had a good feeling that I was hoping that I was really gonna like this book rather than not, but I'm finding that I'm not really enjoying it. So I don't know. Like, again, I'm almost halfway through it and I feel like nothing is really happening. So it's kind of nothing like the movies because nothing is happening. So I don't know. We'll see as we go on. And then the second one I already talked about as being in one of my TBR prompts anyway. And I think I'm going to read that book the very first day of October anyway. Or I might just read that book and Out on a Limb, because those are the 2 books I really want to get to the first week of October. Is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. That also comes out on October 1st. So it comes out the same day as Nothing Like the Movies, but I already talked about that one. But that one's by Frida McFadden, and I'm really excited to read that one as my next book from Frida McFadden. Okay, and then the next book is by Stephanie Garber, and it's Caraval 3.5, and that is spectacular. And this one comes out October 22nd. I don't think I'm going to be reading this in October, though, but I'm so happy that I, was pushed by my Goodreads poll to read Caraval in September, and I really did enjoy those books quite a lot. I think it just started pouring. Sounds like it's like pouring rain. So this one is a special novella for Caraval, but it is a continuation of the story. But it is kind of a Christmas story, or like more wintry vibes. So I don't know if I'm going to get to this in October, because then November I have some really exciting new releases that are coming out in November, like 3 fantasy releases I'm dying to read. And one of them I'm going to read the very 1st of November because it comes out at the end of October, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this one, it says, welcome, welcome back to the mysteriously enchanting world of Caraval. Return to the legendary magic and the whimsical wonder with this beautifully illustrated holiday novella. Snowflakes are falling, invitations are arriving, and holiday magic is swirling in the capital city of the Meridian Empire. It's Great Holiday Eve. Scarlet Dragna is planning a spectacular holiday celebration from the city. Donatella is searching for a perfect gift. Julian is looking ridiculously handsome and green. And sadly, Legend is not fond of the great holiday. Tella is hoping the perfect gift will change his mind. And that's all I'm going to read. If you haven't read this, I don't want to, get too spoilery if I read the rest of the synopsis. Because sometimes these synopsises be given too much away. But it's just so funny that I ended up reading Caraval over Daughter of the Pirate King because I knew that the novella was coming out at some point this year, but I kind of forgot about it until I started reading Caraval. And then I was like, great, I'll be caught up with the trilogy before the next book comes out because there's no Daughter of the Pirate King book coming out anytime soon. And I think the third one came out either earlier this year or last year. And so many people think that series is either a standalone or a duology. No, it's a trilogy. And I keep on telling people that it's a trilogy. I didn't even know it was a trilogy until 2 months ago. So I thought it was just a duology. So I'm probably not going to read that until November or possibly December. And then the last new release in October is Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. And you guys know this is probably my most anticipated read of the entire year. I literally cannot wait to read this. And this one comes out October 29th. But I think I'm going to save it for November 1st. And it's going to be the very first book that I read in November. So you're already getting a sneak peek of what I'm going to start reading in November. Oh my God, you guys were waiting on bated breath to see what I was going to read because everybody watches my channel so diligently. So, but I'm so excited to read this. You guys know Throne of the Fallen was one of my absolute favorite books of the entire year. I loved that book so much. So I'm so excited to read this. So this one says, 2 rivals torn apart by a dark memory reunite on a deadly hunt. And an irresistibly twisted fairy tale in the New York's next steamy standalone fantasy romance from New York Times bestselling sensation Kerri Maniscalco. A wicked prince determined to save his kingdom, Gabriel Axton, infamous as the Prince of Gluttony, the self-proclaimed rake of rakes, has always lived for indulgence, in delicious food and tantalizing women, and most of all in the thrill of the hunt when his love of danger can take over. But when his favorite adventure takes a deadly turn, he realizes something is very wrong in his demon court. I'm not going to read anything else because, again, I'm not giving it away. But I've been seeing a lot more people read Throne of the Fallen, and I've slowly been seeing that everybody thinks that Throne of the Fallen is the best in the whole Kingdom of the Wicked world. Throne of the Fallen was definitely my favorite book, but I do highly suggest that you read the trilogy before you go into Throne of the Fallen. Even though people say you don't have to, I just think it gives a good backstory to the characters. But we'll talk about that later. I'm rambling way too much, but I'm so excited for that book. I can't wait. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what is on my Halloween TBR and on my October TBR. I have them divided by thrillers, by witchy rom-coms, and just witchy books in general. And then I just have some really pretty covers with sprayed edges that I really want to get to as well. So I'm just going to run through them. I'm not going to read every synopsis. I just want to tell you which ones I have on my TBR and which ones I am going to make priority. So in my thriller pile, there is one that's not a thriller, but it just didn't fit anywhere else. So it's just going to stay there. So the first one is Lucy Foley's The Hunting Party. I actually haven't read any of her books yet. I picked this up at the Strand in NYC, and I haven't read any of her books yet, and this one kind of interested me the most. It just says, a New Year's reunion in the remote Scottish wilderness. The beautiful one, the golden couple, the volatile one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider. One of these friends is a murderer and one won't make it out alive. It's like a super short blurb on the back. That's the only reason why I read that. So I'm hoping to get to this. But honestly, with all the books that are on my TBR in October, I'm just going to pick like 2 thrillers that I'm like super determined to get to. And I'm also reading A Talent for Murder. So I'm going to be reading through, actually 4, because I want to read Freida McFadden's The Boyfriend. So I am going to be reading 4 thrillers in October. So the next one is the first book in the Covenant series, and this one is Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I still have not gotten to any of her books yet because she writes like pretty long series, but I feel like this one would be a good place to start with her books, but I also am dying to read the From Blood and Ash series, but I'm probably not going to get to that until next year. So this is like a witchy series, and I'm super excited to get to this, but I don't think I'm going to get to it in October, but it's just up here just in case if I do. Then we have kind of a vampire thriller horror. I think it's a vampire like historical fiction. I don't know if there's horror elements to this, but I actually got this as one of the blind picks that I picked in Barnes & Noble. And this was one of the wrapped books. So it's called The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. And basically, it's this woman named Colleen Lesage is basically like her transformation of becoming a vampire. And I haven't really read a vampire book where they're transforming into a vampire yet. Y'all know I love vampire books. Like, I literally cannot get enough of them. It's just like, I don't know why vampires fascinate us so much, but I'm like really excited to get to this. But again, I don't think I'm going to get to it in October, but these books are just going to be moved to either November, December, or January because I'm still intending to read them in the fall or winter months. So, okay, next up is definitely a thriller that I want to read this month. And I'm super excited to get to this one. This one is called Murder in the Family by Kara Hunter. This is a newer release. This is kind of more like crime, murder, mystery kind of a thriller. And it's actually like a really short read because it's all like in the format of like an interview. So I feel like this is going to take me like absolutely no time. And I think I'm going to devour this book pretty quickly. Maybe this will be the book that I read in a day, but I'm definitely getting to this because I've been wanting to get to this for months. So I'm definitely reading this in October. And then next up are 2 Grady Hendrix books because I loved a Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires so much that I really wanted to pick up a couple more of his books. So I got the Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I got this one at the Strand as well. And this one is really short. But I don't know if I'm going to be getting to this one in October. I'd rather get to the other one that I picked up from him that I'll share with you guys in a minute. This one says, in horror movies, the final girls are the ones left standing when the credits roll. They made it through the worst night of their lives, but what happens after? So that's just like the little blurb on the back. So I really do want to get to this one at some point. I don't know when. Because pretty much the only one in this thriller pile so far that I am definitely reading in October is Murder in the Family. But I also really want to get to this one as well. And this is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I've heard like really good things about his books. So I feel like he's more the male author thriller writer for me over Riley Sager. I just think that his writing is just going to get better the more books I read from him rather than the other way around with Riley Sager. We're not even going to talk about that. This one says, Grady Hendrix takes on the haunted house in a thrilling novel that explores the way your past and your family can haunt you like nothing else. So I don't know if this is supposed to be like really scary or if it's going to be like more thriller, like comedic vibes, but I don't know. This one really intrigued me. So I'm definitely reading this one in October. So out of this whole stack, basically Murder in the Family and How to Sell a Haunted House are the ones I really want to get to in October. And then next up is the one I still haven't read. I know, I've had this for months and I still have not read this. I even tried to put it on my TBR in August, but I just ended up not getting to it. And I keep on pushing it back and back and back. I don't know why this book like scares me so much because I feel like there's such high expectations with Stephen King's books. But this one's more of a thriller, and out of anyone that I'm the most excited to read a thriller by, it's Stephen King. And also this would be my first and only Stephen King book because, as you guys know, I'm not really a horror reader. I just don't really like horror books. I'm a baby. I love me a good thriller though, and I feel like no one could do it better than Stephen King. So this one is called Billy Summers. And basically it says bad people need to pay a price and the price should be high. I think it's about a like mercenary assassin. And basically like he's like some type of anti-hero that's supposed to kill like this really evil guy. So it's kind of like similar to like oh my god, I can't remember. Not Dexter. I guess like a little similar because Dexter just punishes and kills like bad people. But that's kind of like more like Butcher and Blackbird could be compared to Dexter. But yeah, so that's Stephen King. Hopefully I'll get to that one. And then the last mystery thriller that I have is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I really wanted to read this month, but I just ended up not getting to it. I'm not going to get to it this month. This one has been getting so much hype, so I really just wanted to pick this up and read it at some point. So this one says, when a teenager vanishes from her Adirondack summer camp, two worlds collide. So again, I am probably going to like rotate any of these thrillers in between like some of the fantasy series that I really want to get to in November and December, and I'm just going to put them in between as like palate cleansers. So we will see what we get to. So those are all the thriller books. Let me go ahead and put those back and then we'll get into the witchy ones. Okay, so next up I have all like the witchy books and kind of like books that give me like spell vibes and all of that. So I definitely have the priority witch books that I want to get to basically on the top. That's just how it worked out. But I'm definitely reading all of these this month. I'm getting to at least 6 of them. And like I said, I'm getting at least to 2 of these thrillers, and I really want to read these 2 books, so I don't know. Again, I feel so overwhelmed by my October TBR, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't wait to get to these books. So the first 2 are the first 2 books in the X-Hex series. We have the X-Hex and the Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. So many people are reading these books right now. I picked up this one at Barnes & Noble in the city, and I picked up this one at the Strand. I basically, like, picked these up relatively close to one another, and basically all the books that I picked up in the city were all books that I was going to add to my October TBR, because I wanted to add, like, as many, like, October books as possible. So we have these 2. This one says Never Mix Vodka and Witchcraft, and this one says the X-Hex features a fan favorite Gwen and the spine-tinglingly handsome Wells Penhallow as they battle a new band of witches and their own magical chemistry. It says the follow-up to the X-Hex, and that's what this one is about. So I'm really excited to get to these 2. I'm definitely reading these in October. I love how many books I'm going to say, I'm definitely reading these, and then we'll actually see what we get to. But these 5 books are priority for me. I'm reading these no matter what. And then next up, I've had these books for so long, and I am 100% reading these in October because I feel like it's so perfect to read these finally. We have I forget what this series is called, but it's like a witch demon rom-com series. And these are all by Sarah Hawley, and I'm like dying to get to these. So we have A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch, and then the newest release, which came out last month, which is A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. I did put these 2 on my TBR like May and June, and I just ended up never getting to them, and meanwhile I still ended up picking up the 3rd one. So, because I feel like that these are just going to be such a fun time. So the first one says, Marielle knows not to trust a demon, especially one who wants her soul. But what's a witch to do when he won't leave her side and she kind of doesn't want him to? So that's the first one. The second one says, Khalida Cunnington curses the day she met at Astaroth the demon, but when he shows up memoryless, why does she find him so helpless and sort of hot? So that's the second one. And then the third one, the second one is A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. And then the third one is A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire. And this one says, Ben Rosewood never meant to be bound to the vampire succubus, especially one as sexy yet terrifying as Eleanor Betancourt Deverex. But he has to admit there are some fantastic perks. So excited for those. I literally cannot wait for those. 100% reading those in October. And then the next one is Jessica Clare's Go Hex Yourself. I actually found this one in the city as well for like $10. So most of these I added to my TBR because Batty Bean mentioned these a lot, and she's read all of them, and she hasn't read this one yet, though. I'm surprised that she hasn't, but maybe she'll read this in October. But I get most of my spooky recommendations from her, and most of my book recommendations from her in general. I just love her channel. So this one is Go Hex Yourself, and this one says there's one hex of an attraction in this romantic comedy from New York Times bestselling author Jessica Clare. So really excited for this one. That's all I'm going to read. I'm not going to read all the synopsises of these. You can look them up on Goodreads or online. But this is actually the first book in the series, but I really didn't want to overwhelm myself with getting the rest of these because I already had this series to get to, and this series, I'm not going to read the third book in this series, by the way, because it's more of a Christmas witch book, and I'm not going to read that till probably December. But it does come out in like 2 weeks. But then at least I will have read the first 2 books before that one comes out. That one's called The Wedding Witch. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this one too. Then the next one, I have probably seen the most mixed reviews about this book, and it has a pretty low rating on Goodreads, but I don't know. I was just super intrigued to get this book. And this one is called The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brianne Randall. And I don't know, I just thought it would be a fun time. Like, it's spell book witchy vibes. So it says, The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic is a charming debut novel that explores the shields we build around our hearts to retain our own magic. So I don't know. I mean, they said that this was like rewritten a bunch of times, and like not a lot of people like this one, but I don't know. I'm still super intrigued by it. I think it's going to be decent at least, but also like I try not to listen to Goodreads reviews, but sometimes people are pretty accurate, especially with the new releases that I've been reading. Like, most of the new releases have just not been hitting. Like, I actually ended up returning every new release that I bought because I just didn't think they were good enough for me to keep them. And then the next one, everyone is reading this book in October, so I am definitely getting to this one in October, and this one is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana, and I actually found out that there's going to be a sequel to this, but I don't think it comes out until next year, but then at least I will be able to read the first one. And this one says, a warm and uplifting novel about an isolated witch whose opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and a new love changes the course of her life. So that's what this one's about. So I'm definitely reading these 5, this one, and this one. Those are the ones I'm really determined to get to. And then next up, I've seen very mixed reviews about this book as well. It's supposed to be a cozy fantasy. So this one is called The Honey Witch by Cindy J. Shields. And I don't know, I've seen really mixed reviews about it, but I do love this cover. And this says, the honey witch is cursed to never find true love, but when she meets a young woman who doesn't believe in magic, she dares to hope for more. So that's what this one is about. And then the very last witchy book that I have, this was actually probably the first one I picked up besides these first 2 in the Demon's Guide trilogy. And this one I still haven't gotten to either. I think I put it on my May or June TBR. What am I talking about? I mean, this is my October TBR, but I am putting it on my TBR this month, but I don't know if I'm getting to it. And that is The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Haro. I don't want to read like 5 million witchy books this month. Like, originally I was going to read all of these next month, and I was going to try and get to most of these thrillers next month. But then I'm like, I can read a thriller at any time. If I, again, want a quick read that I just want to get through in like a day, a thriller is usually a pretty good choice. But also, like, I didn't want to get bored reading too many witchy books, so most of these I'm probably going to read like the last 2 weeks of October. So this one says, in 1893, there's no such thing as witches. There used to be in the wild, dark days before the burnings began, but now witching is nothing but tidy charms and nursery rhymes. If the modern woman wants any measure of power, she must find it at the ballot box. There's no such thing as witches, but there will be. So this sounds like a really fun time. I know Batty Bean also read that one, and she said she really enjoyed it. So, and then I'll just stack these at the end, and then we'll just give an overview. And then the last two up here is Night of the Witch by Sarah Rosh and Beth Revis. I didn't know that this is actually a author duo. I might just go and pick up the second book today. I'm literally not doing anything else. I didn't realize that this was a duology, so I didn't pick up the second book, but now I really want to. But also, look at this. These sprayed edges. They're so pretty. And this book was only $11.99, so I can't believe how cheap it was. And the second book is called The Fate of Magic. I don't even know if it's out. It probably is. Let me just grab my phone really quick. What is it called? The Fate of Magic. Oh, it comes out at the end of October. So now I have to read this. What? I didn't even know it came out in October. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to pick this up because the cover's so pretty and I've been eyeing it like constantly and I had no idea that the second book was coming out in October anyway. Okay, so maybe we will need to make this more a priority than maybe another witchy book. Maybe we won't go Hex Yourself and we'll just read this one because now I really want to read this because I didn't know that the second book was coming out in October and I'm probably going to pick it up when it comes out. So this one says, their love could never be forbidden. Fritzy is a witch, the lone survival of a brutal attack on her coven. She's determined to find her only remaining family member and bring the Hexenjägers, Zealot, witch hunters, I cannot read these words, to justice for the lives they ended. To do this, she will need to take down their leader, the merciless and enigmatic Commandant Dieter Kirsch. So, really excited for that one. Now I feel like I'm like determined to get to it. Oh my god. I can't even put this anywhere. I'm just going to put it down here. And then the last one is a very new release, and I've been eyeing this at Target like every time I go there. So we have Immortal Dark by Tejas Gurma. What a name. And the sprayed edges, look at these sprayed edges. It says, no soul can enter without an invitation. And this one is a vampire book. Y'all know how much I love my vampires. And there's like a super short blurb on the back. It says, am I scaring you? His voice rumbled like mountain rocks. Do you want to leave? The muscles of his shoulders tensed as if he was preparing for another blow. He was mistaking her accelerated heart rate for fear. She lifted her lashes to him and rested her hands over his. So I think this is like a vampire hunting an heiress, or maybe he just wants to like fall in love with her or make her a vampire. It says, a lost heiress, a soulless vampire, a secret drenched in blood. And look at these end papers. Aren't these so pretty? Sorry, this is a little hard to hold. Right? Like with the, like this punch card kind of like signing in. It's just so cute. Actually it's the Grand Solomon Library card. That's adorable. And then the back has like a letter from, I guess, the vampire. It's just really cool. So I'm really excited to read this as well. I haven't heard much about it, but I know a lot of people are probably reading it in October. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And now we'll just stack the books and talk about my TBR. Okay, you guys, so that is it for my October TBR video. I hope you guys enjoyed. So I'm going to try and get to most of these books in October and also read the books that I pulled for my prompts because I am excited to get to mostly all of these. So I have 6 in my prompts card. I'm keeping them over there. Let me just show you guys really quick. So I'm keeping them, oops. Where's the card? It's on this side. There it is. I'm keeping them up here with the papers tucked in the front. So that is still like my priority TBR reads from the TBR cart. And I'm super excited to read those this month. And then hopefully read like 6 witchy books and these 2 and 2 thrillers plus the boyfriend. So again, we have a lot of books to get to. So that's 6 from the TBR cart. The boyfriend is 7. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I don't know if we're going to get to go Hex Yourself or might just, because I really want to read The Night of the Witch. Because I might read the second one in November then, because I'm going to want to read that one probably in November. So that's another new release that's coming at the end of October. So at least we found out together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CPW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. And let me know what you guys are reading in October. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you guys are thinking. Please don't give me any suggestions though. Just tell me what you're reading currently because I can't handle any more on my October TBR. There's just too many books on it. So I even wanted to move The Daughter of the Pirate King to October because, again, I wasn't able to get to it. But now I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not going to be able to get to it because I have way too many books to read in October. So yeah, that's about it. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. And I hope you guys have a good day. Keep reading. Bye.